It all started back in my early 20s, when I was just another cog in the machine, grinding away at a dead-end job that promised stability but delivered nothing but soul-crushing monotony. I grew up in a suburban bubble, fed the American dream on a silver spoon by parents who echoed the boomer mantra of hard work paying off. But as I stared at my mounting student loans and the skyrocketing rent prices, something didn't add up. The red pill moment hit me like a freight train one rainy afternoon in 2018. While scrolling through endless feeds of conspiracy theories and economic analyses on underground forums, I stumbled upon a video essay dissecting how the baby boomer generation had pulled up the ladder behind them, hoarding wealth through policies they voted for, like tax cuts for the rich and deregulation that favored corporations over the little guy. They bought homes for pennies compared to today's market, enjoyed pensions that vanished for millennials, and now lectured us on bootstraps while sipping margaritas in retirement communities. My eyes widened as the pieces connected. The housing crisis, wage stagnation, environmental neglect all traced back to their era of excess. But it wasn't just blame, it was a revelation that shattered my illusions. I realized addictions weren't just drugs or alcohol anymore. The new ones were insidious, like doom scrolling on social media, chasing likes for dopamine hits, or binge-watching shows to escape reality. These modern vices were engineered by tech giants, many founded or funded by boomers who profited off our distractions. As I delved deeper, I uncovered how algorithms kept us hooked, turning attention into currency while society crumbled. My friends dismissed it as paranoia, but I couldn't unsee it. The full story of my awakening involved late nights researching intergenerational wealth gaps, how boomers' environmental policies led to climate disasters we'd inherit, and the rise of opioid epidemics fueled by pharmaceutical greed. I started journaling my thoughts, piecing together a narrative that blamed not individuals but a generational mindset of short-term gains. The new addictions extended to consumerism, where fast fashion and gadgets promised fulfillment but left us empty. I recalled my own struggles with phone addiction, checking notifications every 5 minutes, missing real connections. This red pill wasn't just about anger, it sparked a fire to change, to advocate for policies like universal basic income or stricter tech regulations. But first, I had to confront the boomers in my life via my parents, uncles, aunts who embodied the denial. Over family dinners, I challenged their views, citing stats on how their generation's voting patterns exacerbated inequality. They'd counter with tales of their hardships, like Vietnam or economic recessions, but I argued those built resilience they denied us by gutting social safety nets. The script of my life shifted from passive acceptance to active rebellion, and this video is my way of sharing that journey, hoping to red pill others before it's too late. As I built my case, I explored how boomers' cultural dominance shaped media, promoting individualism over community, leading to isolation epidemics. New addictions like gambling apps or crypto hype preyed on our desperation, born from economic pressures they ignored. My story isn't unique, it's the echo of a generation waking up, ready to rewrite the narrative. Diving deeper into the blame game, I couldn't ignore the economic policies that boomers championed, like Reaganomics in the 80s, which trickled down nothing but debt to future generations. They voted for leaders who slashed corporate taxes, ballooning deficits we'd pay off with interest. My red pill deepened when I analyzed data showing boomers held the majority of wealth, yet complained about entitlements while collecting social security we might never see. The full story includes my personal financial rock bottom, buried under credit card debt from trying to keep up with the Joneses, a lifestyle boomers normalized through ads and shows glorifying excess. New addictions crept in subtly. I found myself hooked on online shopping, one-click buys easing the pain of unfulfilling work. But blaming boomers wasn't just cathartic, it was educational. I read books like A Generation of Sociopaths that painted them as self-absorbed, raised in post-war prosperity without the scars of depression or frugality. Their environmental negligence hit home when wildfires ravaged my hometown, a direct result of decades ignoring climate warnings for oil profits. I started a blog chronicling these insights, attracting others with similar awakenings. The new addictions evolved, from porn addiction eroding relationships to fitness apps turning self-improvement into obsession. Boomers, Many in tech leadership designed these traps, profiting while we suffered. My confrontation escalated at a family reunion, where I presented charts on wealth inequality, showing how their home equity booms locked us out of ownership. They dismissed it as millennial whining, but facts don't lie. This led to my exploration of psychological impacts, how boomer parenting style as a helicopter or absentia left us anxious and addicted to validation. Social media, their inadvertent legacy, amplified divisions, turning politics into echo chambers. I blamed them for cultural shifts too, like the war on drugs that criminalized addiction instead of treating it, paving the way for modern pharma scandals. My red pill moment expanded to global views. Boomers' foreign policies created endless wars, burdening us with trillions in debt. New addictions included misinformation diets, consuming fake news for outrage highs. I committed to detaxing, limiting screen time and seeking real-world activism. Joining protests against corporate greed, I met others red-pilled, sharing stories of boomer bosses exploiting young workers. The full narrative weaves personal anecdotes with broader societal critiques, urging viewers to question inherited systems. As I scripted this video, I reflected on forgiveness. Blaming boomers isn't about hate but accountability, pushing for intergenerational dialogue. Yet, their resistance fueled my resolve. New addictions like gig economy hustles kept us chained, distractions from revolution. This paragraph captures the ongoing struggle, from economic betrayal to addictive escapes, all tied to that pivotal awakening. The red pill's after-effects lingered, transforming casual observations into profound realizations about societal structures boomers built and abandoned. I recalled my first job out of college, underpaid and overworked, while boomer executives raked in bonuses. Blaming them felt justified when I learned about the dismantling of unions in the 70s and 80s, weakening worker rights for profit. My story includes a pivotal moment reading leaked emails from corporate lobbies influencing boomer politicians to favor big business over people. New addictions manifested in my caffeine-fueled all-nighters, chasing productivity myths boomers peddled. The full account details my health decline from stress, mirroring generational burnout. Environmental blame hit harder. Boomers' love for SUVs and sprawl contributed to pollution we now combat with green initiatives they mock. I started volunteering for cleanups, confronting the legacy of their inaction. Addictions shifted to virtual realities, VR games offering escapes from a world they degraded. Boomers in Silicon Valley innovated these, monetizing our disconnection. Family dynamics strained as I debated inheritance taxes, arguing boomers' wealth hoarding starved public services. They countered with meritocracy tales, ignoring systemic advantages. This led to exploring education failures. Boomers defunded public schools, leaving us with inferior systems and massive debt. My red pill included auditing my addictions, from sugar highs to serial dating apps, all coping mechanisms for instability. Protesting became routine, chanting against policies like endless bailouts for boomer-led banks. The narrative expands to cultural addictions, like celebrity worship boomers amplified through tabloids, now digitized for constant consumption. I blamed them for gender role rigidities too, their era's sexism evolving into modern incel cultures online. New addictions included crypto gambling, luring young people with get-rich-quick schemes boomers once chased in stocks. My awakening prompted a career pivot to content creation, scripting videos like this to spread awareness. Viewers' comments validated my experiences, sharing their boomer blame stories. The full story critiques media bias, how boomer-owned outlets downplay generational divides. Addictions to outraged porn kept us divided, a tactic perhaps unintended but beneficial to their status quo. I advocated for mental health reforms, blaming boomers for stigmatizing therapy while their policies cut funding. This paragraph delves into the emotional toll, from resentment to empowerment, weaving a tapestry of blame and hope for change. As the red pill settled, I scrutinized healthcare disparities, blaming boomers for resisting universal coverage while enjoying Medicare expansions they fought against for others. My personal scary a hospital bill that nearly bankrupted me highlighted the system they preserved for profit. The full story recounts lobbying histories where boomer interests blocked reforms, leaving us with exorbitant costs. New addictions arose from this stress: prescription pill popping, a direct heir to their opioid crisis ignition. I researched how pharma boomers marketed aggressively, hooking generations. Environmental continuations blamed them for fracking booms, polluting water we drink. Addictions to convenience, like single-use plastics they popularized, choked oceans. Confronting boomer relatives, I used data on life expectancy drops, attributing it to their lifestyle legacies. They deflected, but facts persisted. Cultural shifts under scrutiny, boomers' rock and roll rebellion morphed into conservative backlashes, stifling progress. New addictions included streaming services, binging to numb inequality pains. I detoxed by reading classics, avoiding digital traps. Activism grew, petitioning for boomer accountability in climate accords. The narrative includes tech blame. Boomers founded empires like Facebook, algorithmically addicting us for ads. My red pill extended to privacy erosions, their era's surveillance state beginnings. Family therapy attempts failed amid blame cycles, but personal growth ensued. Addictions to perfectionism, instilled by boomer success myths, led to therapy breakthroughs. Protests against pension inequalities united millennials and Zoomers, blaming boomers for intergenerational theft. The full account explores foreign aid cuts, how boomers prioritized military over humanitarian, fostering global addictions to aid dependency. I scripted this to inspire action, not just vent. New addictions like influencer chasing promised fame boomers once gate-kept. Blaming them catalyzed my independence, starting a side hustle free from corporate chains. This paragraph bridges personal evolution with societal critique, emphasizing red pill's transformative power. Progressing through my journey, I tackled education debt, blaming boomers for tuition hikes during their tenure in academia and politics. My loans crippled dreams, a stark contrast to their affordable degrees. The story details policy shifts favoring loans over grants, enriching banks. New addictions filled voids, gaming marathons escaping debt dread. Boomers in game dev capitalized, creating loot box gambles. Environmental blame deepened with deforestation histories, their logging booms devastating habitats. Addictions to travel apps promoted over-tourism, ignoring carbon footprints. Family debates intensified over inheritance, accusing boomers of selfishness. They reminisced hardships, but data showed prosperity peaks. Cultural addictions scrutinized, boomers' TV-era birthed reality shows, now social media spectacles. My red pill uncovered propaganda roots, blaming them for media consolidation. New addictions included fitness trackers, quantifying health into obsessions. I advocated balance, ditching devices. Activism targeted voting reforms, countering boomer gerrymandering. The full narrative weaves immigration policies, how boomers' restrictions fueled labor shortages we'd fix. Addictions to nationalism, their Cold War legacy, divided societies. Personal reflections on relationships blamed boomer divorce norms for commitment phobias. Therapy helped unpack, leading to healthier bonds. Protests for wage equality highlighted boomer CEO pay gaps. Scripting this video, I aimed for nuance, blaming systems over people. New addictions like podcast overloads offered info but overwhelmed. Blaming boomers sparked curiosity, researching alternative economies. This paragraph captures resilience born from awakening, pushing forward despite legacies. The red pill's maturity phase involved pension envy, blaming boomers for defined benefits they enjoyed then eliminated. My retirement seemed mythical, savings eroded by inflation they ignored. Stories include corporate trades in the 80s, stripping worker securities. New addictions compensated, side hustle burnout, gig apps exploiting desperation. Boomers founded Uber et al., profiting from precarity. Environmental reckonings blamed oil dependencies, their SUV cultures warming planets. Addictions to electric gadgets masked greenwashing. Family reconciliations attempted, sharing red pill resources. Some boomers awoke, joining causes. Cultural blame extended to music industries. Boomers gatekeeping talent now disrupted by streaming addictions. My awakening included art therapy, channeling blame creatively. New addictions like meme cultures trivialized issues, a boomer humor revolution. Activism focused on tax fairness, protesting boomer loopholes. The full story critiques were on terror costs, Boomers post 9/11 policies indicting us. Addictions to patriotism, blinded truths. Personal growth from blame led to mindfulness. Combating anxiety addictions. Protests united generations against common foes. Scripting emphasized empathy, humanizing boomers while holding accountable. New addictions to self-help books promised fixes for systemic kills. Blaming catalyzed community building. Online forums fostering support. This paragraph highlights transition from anger to action. Red pill's enduring impact. Nearing resolution. I addressed housing crises, blaming boomers for NIMBYism blocking developments. My rent struggles epitomized barriers they erected post-purchase. Narratives detail zoning laws favoring equity preservation over accessibility. New addictions arose. Co-living apps. Temporary fixes for instability. Boomers and real estate flipped profits, inflating bubbles. Environmental blame included urban sprawl, their suburb dreams consuming lands. Addictions to home reno shows glamorized unaffordability. Family dialogues evolved, some boomers downsizing to help. Cultural shifts blamed sitcom ideals for family myths, leading to isolation addictions. My red pill spurred minimalism, rejecting consumerism. New addictions like crypto communities built false hopes. Activism pushed affordable housing bills, countering boomer lobbies. The full story explores mental health funding cuts, boomers' stigma perpetuating crises. Addictions to therapy apps commodified care. Personal victories included that payoff, freeing from chains. Protests amplified voices, blaming boomers constructively. Scripting this, I wove hope. Red pill as catalyst for equity. New addictions to activism itself risked burnout, but balance prevailed. Blaming fostered understanding, bridging divides. This paragraph underscores healing through accountability. In culmination, my red pill moment crystallized a path forward, beyond blaming boomers to dismantling addictions they enabled. The full story ends with optimism, generations uniting for reforms like debt forgiveness and tech ethics. Personal transformations included addiction recovery, from screens to substances, embracing authenticity. Environmental actions blamed past but built futures, planting trees metaphorically and literally. Family bonds strengthened through honest talks. Boomers acknowledging roles. Cultural evolution saw new narratives challenging old, addictions waning with awareness. Activism became lifestyle, scripting videos to red pill masses. New addictions tamed through mindfulness, replacing voids with purpose. Blaming boomers wasn't endpoint but starting gun for change. This paragraph seals the journey, inspiring viewers to their own awakenings. 4.7s